Okay, just do a sound check here. Everybody can hear me okay at home? Everybody can hear me okay here? Okay, so why do we have so many people here today?
Rates are going up.
Market's hot.
It's a pizza lunch.
Anybody tell me why so many people here today?
Market's slow.
Their pizza lunch after.
Those pizza lunch,
Food banks are full.
June market's over. We got Fran here right now. Fran, you been busy at all? Or?
Yeah, it's a meeting. 8 meetings happening.
Okay, we got everybody's attention here. Oh, almost. Sanjay, between 1 and 10 for $100. What's the number? Oh, so close. So my question is, why is everybody here? So I'm asking Brandon, you've been busy for the last week and a half. So when I say busy, the answer is no, but were you busy the previous weeks with pre-approvals or with closings? Pre-approvals, okay. And here's my question. Here's the real question I'm going to ask. And the pre-approvals that you're doing right now, are these first-time buyers or these move-up buyers? Really? Okay, I'm surprised because I would have thought move-up buyers would be in the market today.
Yeah, but I think the majority is.
Okay, and why is it today that the rates are what, 6%? How much are the rates today? 5 or 6. Why are there more? Not this week, but a couple weeks ago. Why were there more buyers a couple weeks ago than there were, let's say, when the rates were, like say a year ago? Who knows? I mean, like people like it's who's running for elections? It's Saunders, right? And he had crime. His thing is crime is normalized, right, in Toronto. That's why he wants to stop, because everybody thinks that crime's okay and they're normalizing, right? He's trying to say that's not right. But now the interest rates are like 6%, so things are normalizing. I'm thinking like people are over the shock that they're going to pay twice as much today than they would have paid, a year and a half ago. But they've overcome it. They've overcome it. They've normalized it. I'm thinking.
Yeah, and also a lot of people are buying together. When you say first-time buyers.
So first-time buyers are joining their parents or other people or siblings. See, that's a good idea too. Okay, all right. So it's not so okay.
Yeah, so that's what we think now. 42. Okay.
So that's something to think on. The reason why I talk about it, you may have clients yourself. You may have a client right now that can't afford something there on their own. So maybe if they have a sibling that can join forces together, that's something to think about. Okay. Open houses, anybody in the weekend? Nothing? No. I know somebody who did one there. They're fairly busy on Sunday, but not too much. No. So what about the market itself in the last week? Did anybody notice a difference? A little slower. So I should talk to Nelson here. You've seen like for us, Nelson, myself, it's like it's hot and cold. It's like cold for one day and then it's hot for the next day, right? It's this morning they were hot. And usually Monday. Saturday busy. Okay. Generally, what happens there on Monday, Tuesday, we're busy because everybody's had the weekend to look at properties. Now they want to start putting offers together. So we'll do more offers tonight, more offers tomorrow, and that's what's going on there. Multiple offers. Anybody been involved in multiple offers, either as a buyer side or listing side? Nobody.
The listing last week. We thought we'd get more. That's why I said slower. Like slower. We had 3 offers on a property that had 50 offers.
50 showings, 3 offers.
Sorry, 50 showings, 3 offers. We're
Okay.
expecting a little bit in the $7.99 range.
Anybody else here's talking to somebody downstairs who has a property? He's got he's got the offer date guess around later on this week, and the showings aren't there to support the offer date.
What price?
$2 million price range is the target, sort of price around 1.6 or so, but we're thinking maybe 1.2 might be a better number. Richmond Hill. No, we don't know, right? Don't know.
Price ranges. Well, the price range is small.
It's a tough range, and also in the $4 million price range, it's a little tough as well. Things are happening there.
No, Michael.
Oh, the guy.
Paul Jasper. He's not here now.
Paul Guzman or
Joswell.
Joswell. He sold his property, his own house.
Yeah.
And he reduced the price by $300,000.
Yeah.
It was a $3 million property. Got multiple offers. You know, I was really surprised. And now that one was, it's in North York there, prime location.
Yeah. So it's a $300 property, multiple offers. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
You know, when you reduce it, he was telling me he's holding offer date. I go on a $3 million house. That's surprised.
What about the condominium market? Is there anything going on in the condo market?
Right?
I have one listing.
I see many houses in North York.
Yeah.
They're comparable to my house. And they also did the same thing. They reduced the price by 200,000-300,000. And they got multiple offers. Sold for whatever price they wanted.
So yeah, okay. So that's the answer, right? I mean, you have a $3 million, like a $3.9 million price. You price it like $200,000 less, and you get your price you want anyways, right? But just you speed things up.
But again, you go back to location,
We're assuming that everything's okay. We're assuming that the property's move-in ready and it's in a good location and so on and so forth. You got to consider all that stuff, right? So,
all over.
Yeah. Okay. A lot of people have been talking about interest rates increase on Wednesday, June 7th. I don't believe it's going to increase. Some people say it is going to increase. What have you guys been hearing? Have you hearing increase or not increase? What's the word on the street?
Now I'm hearing not increase.
A lot of people say increase, when this morning I read my box.
So last week everybody said increase. I never did. I thought maybe they're going to hold it. I think if they increase it, it might be what, 25 basis points, if that.
Like why?
Brian, what do you think? Is it?
Are they trying to drive down the inflation or?
Yeah. So Eli's saying here so Brian doesn't think it's going to go up. I don't think it's going to go up. I think it might go up in July if we don't do something with the cost of living, right? Cost of living. I haven't got the right numbers here, but I know that it peaked around 8% something, and then I think last time it was like 4.4. It went up from 4.3 the previous time they did it. So they've knocked it down, but they still haven't reached the 2%, which the government wants. So logically,
Inflation rate.
the inflation rate, yeah, the
So what is
CPI,
it down to now for?
it's 4.4 or something like that, and they want to get it down to 2.5. So based on that logic, you'd expect an increase, but I'm thinking that part of the bundles of goods, like part of the things that they consider as being part of that 4.4% is a mortgage payment. So if they increase the mortgage payments, obviously it's going to increase to 4.4.
And the rent.
Right, so that thing's going up, right?
Rates don't really affect food like that.
No, but it's part of the bundle, right? So if they increase the interest rates, that's going to increase the mortgage payment, which is going to increase the inflation rate.
Right.
You understand? So it's kind of it's a hard thing to figure out. That's why I think they're going to hold off and wait another month.
But I think they're gonna raise on it. I wouldn't think.
I think people need to storm the Bank of Canada and just open fire. You know, really. That's what's gonna happen.
So just go over the numbers for June. They came out since we talked last. Sorry, May, I should say. The sales themselves were 9,000. So we're hoping to hit that 10,000. We haven't quite touched it just yet, but 9,000 is better than 7,000 like it was last year. So the rates themselves are up. They're up 25% almost. Those the units are up 25%. Just to give you an idea, there we sold 9,000 or so. In May 22, we would have had probably 15,000 sales in May of 2021. Okay, so I'm just don't write that number. I'm guessing off the top of my head.
Sorry, this is for the people, they go up.
Katie's making notes. She puts it on Instagram. When I make a comment here, it's just and then
All right.
then some black and white. Yeah. What my job here is to give you guys talking points. My job here is to give you guys talking points so you can talk to your clients. Right? I'm trying to give you objection handlers that you can give to your clients, your buyers and sellers, right?
Prices went up in May, didn't they? The prices went up.
So the prices themselves, so we've got units are up 25% from last year, but again, it's not, it's really not peak, and it's a living wage. Okay, just so everybody here knows, here, a living wage would be at least 10,000 units per month. If we can do 10,000 units per month, then everybody will be happy. So that's the target you want, right? So we're pretty close, right? 9,012. So we're getting there. Active listings, unfortunately, so the sales were up 25%, but active listings are down 23%. So when you have more sales and less active listings, what does that represent?
Drives the price up.
It's a seller's market, right? So it drives prices up. And in fact, it did that because the prices themselves, they're at 1.210. It's still down from the peak in February 22 at 1.334. But it's still up, it's still, even though it's down 1.2% from May of last year, so call it even, but it's up 4% from April. So the prices from January, February, March, April, May, have all gone up. So the price trend is going up, which talks about this normalization of the interest rates. I think the shock is over. And I wonder whether it was an emotional shock when the interest rates went so high, or whether it was a physical thing that people didn't qualify. I don't know. You still have to qualify for the stress test, right?
What about that line where they say it takes 1 year to 1.5, like 12 to 18 months for the effect to be really felt? Say that July is where the real bulk of the interest rate.
I don't know, because so Raj is saying something about it takes about 1.5 years for something to be affected by the prices.
Like, has it
So
been
by
under
higher interest
pressure?
rates. You can't see this chart here. Really, I'm going to show it to these folks here first. While I'm on screen again. Okay. Oh, come on. Where is it? All right. The blue line is the number of sales, and the yellow line is the Bank of Canada rates. So Bank of Canada rates went up quite a bit in January. Sorry, they went up in January. Sorry, January 22, they started going up, right? February, March 22, they started going up. And the market reacted immediately.
Yeah, we priced in at that point.
But yeah, like the units reacted immediately. So I don't think it's 1.5 years. I think it's right away. We know that, right? So as soon as they increase the rates, then people don't qualify, and that's the end of it, right? So I'm not sure that 1.5 years stuff. Average days on the market, 14 days on the market. It's 14 days on the average market, which is strong. But if you look at the other report that Trev reports, and that is the days on the market, including cancel relists, right? It's more like 20 days or 21 days. So it's kind of a fake number, the 14 days, because people will cancel relists and lower price seller right away. So you really can't take that number, but still a pretty strong number. Prime rate last year was 3.2, today 6.7. So that's quite a bit of difference, like 4.5% difference. That's quite a bit of difference. Huh? But the market's still doing okay. As far as June, even though it's only 4 days in June that I counted, yesterday, June 4th. Sales are for condos are actually up 5%. Active, sorry, the overall it's -4%. Freeholds are -9%. So if you're wondering what's going on in the first 4 or 5 days of this week and maybe a little bit of last week, with the freeholds down almost 10%. So that tells us something too. So if you're sitting there, maybe not selling, maybe the market has shifted a little bit. Right? I think maybe the spring market was there, but maybe it's going the other way. Leases are down 20%. Freehold leases are down 31%.
Wow.
That's probably because there's no inventory.
Yeah, it's a transaction.
I'm talking transactions, right?
Price.
Condos are down 14%. I don't have price. It's only, I just do units right now. So
500 units.
that's interesting, right?
Across GTA.
So on the rental market, who's doing rental market? Who's got stuff for rent? Are you having a hard time getting the rents? Yes, hard time getting rents?
We got overpriced on.
Because everything I read, the rents are going up, right? Rents are going up.
What?
2,800.
Hello.
So you gotta look at the overall stuff. Now, when you do your CMAs, I'm talking about overall Toronto Real Estate Board, but you gotta look at the individual. So even though the sales themselves are up 25% from last year, if you look at Durham, for instance, Durham is only up about 1%. So you gotta look at the various areas and find out what's going on. Just don't take the general information. You gotta boil it down to the area. You gotta boil it down to the type of property, things like that. Average price overall on the HPI index, which is a little bit different than average price, a little more accurate. But if I do the HPI house price index, all Toronto areas, prices are actually down 6.85% on the HPI. And HPI, just to remember everybody, remind you, it's not the average HPI. They take a typical property and they reevaluate that typical property every month and they come up with this number. So it's actually gone up 6.85% overall, but if you break it down to City of Toronto, down 6.85, the City of Toronto is down 6.24. York Region is down 5.17. In Durham Region, the areas that the prices went up the most during the peak, prices in Durham area have gone down 10%. So again, you gotta look at that too and see what's happening there. And it looks like the outskirts, all the properties on the 905 outskirts have gone down more than the 416, but they also went up higher than the 416 too. So they're just coming back to roost. Good. And all this information's on the market watch. You guys ever do the market watch and look at the house price index? You want to do in-depth analysis and that, it's all information there. Sometimes you get a client that's very analytical. They love this kind of stuff. The emotional guys, not so much. So demand outpaces supply, fueling growth in May. So demand outpaces supply because that's based on active inventory versus the sales themselves. They're still saying here we're down 19% compared to May 22 as far as the supply goes. The supply itself is not keeping up. They're still saying that Canadian immigration. We don't see that. Do I see that? Do you see that? I mean, the newspapers talk about Canadian immigration, 150,000 the first quarter. Do we? I don't. I'm not running circles that I see that. Does anybody else see that?
You know what? In the tenants, the leases, I've seen lots of Ukrainian people coming in.
Tons of people coming in and out. Okay, because I'm starting to read now that a lot of the IT guys are looking at the cost of living in Toronto, and it doesn't. They'd rather go to Australia or Britain or some other place because of the cost of living in Toronto being so high. So even though they're saying they want 150,000, maybe the 150,000 don't want to come here. So I'm just curious whether or not it's actually happening or not. You would see it in that rental place too, like the low-end rental. You probably see it.
Trudeau guaranteeing the Ukrainian will the rent money or the landlord?
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if it's Trudeau. Didn't he pass it on to Toronto? Isn't that what Toronto's complaining about? Trudeau's inviting all these people in and they're sending them to Toronto and Toronto's got to pay for them. Home sales up 25% last year, but supply remains low. Toronto Real Estate Board. That's going to be the typical thing. Days on the market, as I said, is actually 26 days on the market. It's the actual report itself for council release. So I've got people that have had a property on the market now for what, 4 or 5 days and no showings. What's going on, right? Well, it's got to, it takes a little more time nowadays. Market has changed. I'm surprised with this number here. It says more Ontario homeowners sold within a year of buying as interest rates climbed. So if you have clients, let's say we always tell you, go back to your past clients, go to your database, see what they're doing, and you'll say, well, they just bought a year ago. They're not going to sell now. Why would they bother? Well, they're saying here that quite a few of them are selling within a year because when they bought these places, they bought it at a low interest environment. Now the interest rates have gone up. Maybe they took a gamble, took a variable rate mortgage at the time just to qualify because that's what's going on. Remember, guys, we're taking fixed rates because the fixed rates were too high. So they're taking variable because they qualify. So now all of a sudden, after a year, the rate's gone up and the variable's gone up. Now they can't afford that place. They're thinking about selling. So if you've got a client that bought a year ago or bought during the peak, just because they bought last year doesn't mean they're going to not sell this year. So again, don't sort of something to think about there. There's been a notable increase in homeowners selling within 1 year of buying the property, particularly condos, since interest rates have risen since last year. This is from TerraNet. We had 8 successful interest rate increases since March after they hit the historical lows. They're saying that properties held for less than a year increased 22%. Okay. It's a good reason to sell because it makes sense, right? So if you're looking for a source of business, there's something there too. Look at your past clients. Maybe they bought a year, or maybe you're farming an area or farming a condominium area, and somebody bought in the peak, or somebody bought last year. You may want to try to concentrate on those folks and have a conversation and see if something's going on. Another report here tells us that over half of those buyers, over the half of the GTA condo investors, not these buyers, but normal buyers. Over half of the GTA condo investors lost money in 2022. And they're talking about people that held their places. So when they first bought these places, they were probably getting about $100 to $200 per month loss between the rent that's being paid versus the maintenance fees versus the mortgage payments, about a $200 loss. Anybody in that same boat? Does anybody have investors that bought pre-construction? They're having about $100, $200 loss, and I think I know lots of people did. And the idea was it's $100, we're going to increase in value, it's going to be okay. But now that guy that was losing $200 today, he's losing $1,000 a month. So that's the guy you want to talk to and say, $1,000 a month. That means that for you to break even, your condo has to increase in value by a minimum of X amount percentage. And with all the glut of new condominiums coming to the market, you might want to think about selling sooner than later. I've seen lots of people doing this, right? So, but I also know Canadians will not sell at a loss. They'll pay that $1,000 a month, but they're not going to sell that. Not going to sell that place for a loss, right?
Easier pill to swallow.
Yeah, that's too bad, right? And now what they're also saying is that because the condo investors are losing money, it's going to hurt renters. I don't know if this number is correct or not, but they're suggesting here that 90% of the rental supply in Toronto is provided by individual investors, not by the government, not by purpose-built rentals.
Like mom and pop.
Mom and pop are giving 90% of the rental supply. I don't believe that number. Very too high, eh? But it is an interesting number that the government's relying on mom and pop to supply rentals for all these new Canadians.
Affordable housing, yeah.
Right? So I guess a matter of, right?
Yes.
And what they're also saying here is because says here, relying on condo investors to drive 90% of your rental supply, as we're finding out, is not a good strategy for developing rental housing in GTA. So that's what they're saying, 90%. So now, if you take a brand new condo, let's say you're either Liberty Village, where you guys are hanging out, right? Of all those condominiums that are there that are for rent, how many of those are mom and pop? How about 100%? 100%. Because it's not purpose-built rentals. And of that particular area of those, all those units being rented out, what percentage is being rented out? I haven't got a clue, but I bet it's good 50%. At least 50%. So if it's going to cost more money for the mom and pop guys to operate these places, they're obviously going to have to increase the rents. And that's why they're saying it's going to hurt the renters.
Connection with the new development, is that what you're saying? That people should not look at the investment, the new development,
No, people should buy.
no buy.
Yeah.
The new development.
Sure.
Still,
Yeah. Just have their eyes wide open, right? It's not, you can't buy with 5% down, and expect a positive cash flow. What does it take now? 30, you used to always take 35% down for break-even cash flow. It's probably the same.
10%.
Break-even cash flow? Break-even cash flow I'm talking about. You can't put 10% down and have break-even cash. You're gonna be losing that $1,000 a month. Right. Young adults. Okay, so here's something else to consider. Young adults, apparently young adults meaning young adults between 34 and 35, and some of them between 35 and 54. 54 is young adult.
At Rexall, that gives you a parking spot.
Anyways, so what these guys are doing, what these young folks are doing is they're buying their investment properties before they're buying their principal residence.
We see a lot.
They're buying their investment properties while they're still living at home with mom and pop. They're buying investment properties before they're buying their principal residence.
We see a lot.
So I want your radar up. Do your clients don't want to sell or buy, don't want to do anything, but they got a 34-year-old kid living in the basement. Right? Get him out, get him invested. He doesn't have to move out, buy an investment property. So this should be your conversation with your clients, right? So I know you don't want to sell anything. I know you're never going to move. I know you told me you're going to move out of a box, but what about your kids? All right. And maybe you need to have that conversation with them, because people are doing it. They're saying here that there's 4.4 million of them out there that are buying. It's all across Canada, right? 28% of non-investors say they plan on purchasing next 5 years, and when the 48% were ages 18 to 34, and 35% ages 35 to 54. So there's something to think about that. Another thought. Toronto has changed the zoning laws in the 416 area to allow multiplexes. So they've 70% of all properties in Toronto are single family residential, and they've changed that to say that anybody now can put multi-residence, multi units in that space.
As long as they get legalized.
So let's be, no, it's like zoning and planning will not jump in their way. They still have to do the building code, still have to get building permits, just can't just go and build something, right? Just, it still has to pass, it still has to be so many meters from the lot lines and so much gross square footage, all type of stuff, but it can still be done, it can't be turned down. So there's a company out there I was reading about that, first of all, you may, okay. You got to identify property. Again, if you're farming or if you want to identify a neighborhood, let's say, where I grew up at Orton Park in Lawrence, Orton Park and Ellesmere. There's these 1,000 square foot, 1,100 square foot bungalows on 40 by 120 foot lots, right? They're all over the place, right? Those guys now can actually add a second story, or better still, might be easier for you. You can add a garden suite in the back. And what I was reading here, this one company here, they're actually manufacturing garden suites in a factory. They're manufacturing these places, they're putting it on a trailer, and all the homeowner has to do is make sure that the water's there and the electrical's there, and there's a pad. And they just drop this secondary garden suite in their backyard, done.
We're doing that now on a property.
Right. And what they're saying here is that you can save hundreds of thousands of dollars rather than hiring some guy to dig a foundation and start from scratch and build all this, build it on site like traditionally. Being built in the factory, they can save thousands and thousands of dollars and time. They say, but by the time you order it and it passes everything, you can have it done like 4 to 6 weeks finished.
Got a guy. This property building these storage, the shipping containers.
Yeah, I've seen that too. And yeah, you got the shipping containers where they built those. This one's actually quite modern. It's a modern. So it's because of my screens. Anyways, this is quite modern here, and again, they're building it, and they can build it and drop it in. So same thing. You have clients. I'm not moving out here unless it's out in the box. Okay, you got a kid living in the basement. Why not create a secondary suite for them? No basement in this case. Yeah, it just drops on a slab, right? But these things, even them, they can't be more than these secondary suites can't be more than what 400 or 500 square feet. So what kind of basement are you gonna get, right?
Do you think prefab would ever become common in the city, or like?
I think it will, because in the city, especially in downtown, like East York, you've got those laneways. You can put these things there all day long. It's probably a couple $100 grand, 300-400 grand.
They're doing it out in cottage country where there's forget building it, just popping it down 800 square feet.
Well, look at in Cornell when they were building those towns. They built their coach houses in the back.
Yeah.
People were thinking that's crazy. I'm paying that for 30 grand for that. Well, you know what that's worth now?
Well, now they're putting secondary units up there.
They're worth their weight.
So some new development's going to come around. One is come November, the Buttonville Airport will no longer be there, and the property is owned by Cadillac Fairview. So Cadillac Fairview plans on redeveloping the Buttonville Airport, and they plan on building like a mini city there. That's what they're telling me here. So that won't be for another 5-10 years, probably by the time they get grading done and doing already.
How many acres is that site?
Oh man, let's see. They bought it in 2010. Don't know.
I also heard about the science center. It's going.
Shanaz is saying that the science center, I don't think the science center will go anywhere. That's my view.
Because the developer wants the property.
Anyways, by the time that's done, you and I'll be.
Door knocking?
There's a trio condominiums going to Cliffside on Kingston Road. There. So again, if is anything going on with that burl? Anybody know what that burl's going on? Crickets. I drove by there a couple of times, man. There's like, they can't possibly build. I mean, they
sold that thing for a second.
they sold it for like $400 or $500 a square foot or something. I don't know why.
Oh, way too late.
Like 4 years.
So Cliffs, so they're saying here that there's 1,000 people are gonna go to Cliffside, that they'll be able to take care of all the local businesses, things like that. So that's a nice little area there, Cliffside. It's a nice little pocket. And it is, you're right, drive up Cliffside, which is Kenny Road, Upper Beaches. There's just a bunch of those sprawling plazas, right? Like those roll plazas, all, just get rid of them all. It's sort of not quite Midland. This would be Kenny Road. It could be Midland too. Midland's Cliffside. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I don't.
Now they're also talking about downtown Toronto because of the people not going back to work, that they've got all this office space down there they don't know what to do with. And then people were suggesting maybe they convert the office space into condominiums, but they're saying that it costs too much money to do that. They're not set up for that with all the plumbing and everything. So now they're talking about tearing them right down.
What? All the blue
Yeah, not all of them, but the ones they don't need, right? So that'd be interesting too, right? I'm pretty sure they do that in Hong Kong and other places, probably China, that once a building's like 25, 23 years old, they just tear the sucker down and start all over again.
Yeah, but they also can build it, like, right?
Well, no, so can we now.
Yeah.
Look at all those 1960s rental apartments up and down Birchmount, up and down Victoria Park, up and down Lawrence.
Yeah.
The low income. No, not even low. No, just the old ones. They're not low. They're not low income. Nothing. Well, they're going to tear down something that's got 20 units, so they're going to put 200. Somebody asked me the other day about all the different government programs for first-time buyers and other people. Are you guys up to speed with all the different things that the government has to throw money around? Forget about the new Canadians. This is for old Canadians. So what do you got? So you got the home buyers tax credit. Everybody knows that. So up to $10,000, you get a 15% rebate for your lawyer's fees and things like that. If you're a first-time buyer, up to $1,500 max. So that compensates for your movers and your lawyers, things like that. There's that out there. You've got your first-time home buyers incentive program, which is relatively new, and that's the FTHBI. Federal income tax. So this to me is the best. Sorry, this to me is an odd one. This is the one that outside Toronto is probably a good idea. That's where the government will give you 10% for a 10%. They'll give you 10% down payment on a resale. Sorry, on a new home, 5% on a resale, but they'll also hold 5 or 10% of the equity. So when you go to sell it after 25 years, they'll take their 5% back. Thank you very much.
But this will be at that price.
At the current value, you get 5% of the value. Yeah. So they're going to be they're a partner. They're a partner.
That's a nice investment.
But for some guy that doesn't have the 5% down,
You gotta go out and find.
it's like how do you buy a house no money down in Canada? Here it is. You pour 5% for the government, get a 95% CMHC mortgage. Where you go?
What was there was a restriction on that in your income, household income?
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff
You gotta
there.
get out
So
there.
it's more for small town, right?
Yeah.
This one here to me is the best one. They have the first time home savings account. That to me is probably the best one. But you have to think long range. And this goes back again to your clients. You got to think about that kid that's living in the basement. How are you going to get him out? Let's create a first time home buyer's plan for him where we can save $8,000 per year after tax money, up to maximum of $40,000 after tax money. But once you invest it, it turns into like a take that back. I said tax free. Turns out it's a combination of an RSP and a tax free savings account. You can take $8,000, put it away, and deduct that off your income tax, just like an RSP would. But when you take the money out, it's tax free, so you don't have to pay money that you take out. So it's a double boost.
That's the goal.
Right, so it's to your advantage. So this to me is probably one of the better plans. I mean, no, it's only $40,000, it's $8,000 per year, but it's not the full down payment. It's $40,000 plus whatever else you've saved, right? Home buyers plan is out there. That's an old plan. We're all familiar with that. That's $35,000 per person. You've got greener home loans, you've got greener home grants, you've got energy saving programs. So there's energy saving program right now. If you want to convert from oil to a heat pump or something like that, there's money out there for people on that. You've also got home accessibility tax or credit. So if you got somebody that maybe needs a wheelchair accessible house or needs an elevator, something like that, there's money out there for people like that. And there's also money, max, it's $7,500 tax credit for somebody that wants to convert their house for an elderly person to create a secondary unit. So if you've got a mother or grandmother that wants to move into the house, you want to convert the living room into a bedroom with a bathroom or something like that, they'll contribute towards that. $2,500 tax credit. Anyway, so this is not new Canadian, this is all existing Canadian, so this is good. Question for you, this is just random. Are landscaping and trees and gardening a fixture or a chattel? Fixture or a chattel? Some guy's got a beautiful Japanese maple tree sitting in this thing he planted a couple of years ago. Can he take that with him?
I don't know, we just didn't want we excluded like plants.
I have the answer, but I'm just curious. What do you guys, so when a client says to you, I want to take I want to take all my hostas out of the front house.
We excluded the flower ones.
All right. So just so you know, then the landscaping, because somebody's buying landscape, they're buying the house because of what the house looks like. That's what they're buying. So landscaping is a fixture. It is part of the house. If you have a client that doesn't want that Japanese tree to be sold and wants to take it, you got to put it in the offer saying excluding the Japanese maple.
But plants in the top, it is a chattel, right? Plants in the top, in the top.
If you hanging plants it's not hanging plant isn't it's not in the ground, right?
No, right, yeah. Also hanging baskets.
Hanging baskets, things like that. Right? All right, now who wants some good stuff? Let's get to the good stuff. Good stuff. I tried to do this years and years ago and I got resistance from agents, so I'm not sure what kind of resistance we're going to get this year, but we'll see. Treb wants us to have a health and benefits plan. Treb wants you to have a health and benefits plan. And here's the thing. It's 50. It's going to be 58 if it passes. It's a RIA that's doing this. Sorry, and Treb is backing it up. It's going to cost the first year $55 a month. So it's going to be roughly, what's that? $650 per year. Mandatory. You have no choice.
What happens if you have a spouse?
Mandatory. Come on, give me the directions. Mandatory. 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 Doesn't matter what it covers. Doesn't matter what it covers. It's mandatory.
Nothing to age or number.
They asked for survey, right?
You guys, okay. Alex brought up a good question. We're gonna vote on it. We already voted because you already voted your directors. You already voted, so.
Alex, did you get in?
I voted for you.
Yeah, I voted for you.
Anyway, so prescription drugs, $750 per year. That's pretty good. So you're paying $650 premium, and your coverage is going to be $750 for drugs.
Yeah.
$750 for paramedic practitioners, whatever that is. Medical services supplies, $500 ambulance. Co-insurance, 70% copay. Out of country travel insurance, 30-day minimum trip, termination age 80, can't be over 80. Life insurance coverage, $100,000. Life insurance that we're paying now, the $110 life insurance that we're paying for, was it $40,000? Anybody remember? We talked about that, right, Nelson? It was 50. Anyways, that disappears. That's gone. So it's going to be replaced with this. So rather than paying $110, it's going to be $650, but it includes $100,000 in life insurance.
Yeah.
And it's probably double if you die by mistake. I'm not sure anybody, I don't know anybody that dies by on purpose. Critical insurance, $25,000, reduces 50% at age 75, termination at age 70. So if you're always over 70, you don't get covered for that. And accidental death and dismemberment. This stuff's all on Trev, by the way. You can read this stuff. So your $108 fee will disappear. So actually, you're saving $100, and it's going to cost you $650. So it's less than that, right? It's proposed, it'll take effect on January 1st, 2024, if OREA approves. So I can't see anybody not wanting to go with unless their spouse already has a program. Then maybe they can opt out. Remember when your kids went to university, you had to pay for their health thing unless you could prove they had other benefits. Remember that?
Was there an extended version too of that?
You get dental.
You could probably like over and above the minimum, you mean?
Yeah, I think it was probably like you pay extra and get.
There's probably other options on there as well, right? So I tried to do this years ago with our guys and that, but our guys, no, they didn't want to be mandatory, right? Because it had to be all or none. And half said no. So that killed it right there. They did this years ago when Trev and dental plan, remember that? They had a dental plan, they let everybody go into dental plan. So everybody went into dental plan, they got their dental all done, and then after dental's all done, they canceled the plan.
Was there dental on this?
It's extra.
Go buy some staging equipment and return.
So your dental and vision is not part of this plan, but if you want dental and vision, you can talk to them and get and top it up. All right, so speaking about mandatory. Did everybody read how Authentisign is going to end at the end of January? Sorry, end of June. So you got three options. You can either I myself pay for Authentisign separately. I have my own Authentisign. I pay $120 a year for it. Now when I use Authentisign, I don't have to log into Trev. I just log into Authentisign directly and I just send it all on. We just, so it's easy. Some people use DocuSign because they use DocuSign from the very beginning. That was $180 per year, somewhere around that range. And they like DocuSign there. So people that have DocuSign, this doesn't affect them. People that are paid for Authentisign doesn't affect them. People that want to use Authentisign in the future, you need to do the purchase option, or you got to learn SkySlope. Trev pays for it.
You're paying Trev to pay.
Nothing's free, by the way.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I think that.
Yeah, it's included in your fees, right? So I think what's happened, nobody's told me, I haven't heard anything, but I think Lone Wolf either jacked up the price and Trev just take a hike, or Trev is going a different direction with their blockchain and their prop techs. So what that means is, and I think it's the second. I think they've decided that they want to be a little more hands-on with the SkySlope, because what they also want to do is have your SkySlope for DigiSign for signing, and it's not that hard. Just have to do it, right? Just like anything else, as long as you do it, it's not that hard. But what they also want to do, and I talked to one of the board directors, and he said it's not going to happen right away. It's not going to happen for a while, and I said good, because you guys are going way too fast with all the technology. I told Trev, you guys are going too wild. It's just getting too crazy with all this stuff. You've got Realm coming up. You had an option the other day, last week or 2 weeks ago, an option. You go Matrix, Stratus, Realm. What's happening here? Toronto Real Estate Board has taken over. Oh, okay. Quinte Board and Northumberland Board and some other boards have joined Trev, and they have always used Matrix. So now they're giving you the option, you use Matrix or you can use Realm where you want to do it. And that's for the next, 60 days, I think it was. And then after that, you have to decide one or the other. You can't have matrix and stress, but I think that's more for the new people coming in than it is you. Because they're using matrix already. So if you want to continue using matrix, carry on. If you want to use realm, carry on. But what Treb has done here, they've seen here, they're gonna make it mandatory. I hate that word, especially the realtors. The board of directors approve a recommendation that the use of SkySlope offers be mandatory for submission of offers made on properties listed on Toronto MLS, subject to legal review. Right now, again, this is not going to happen for 6 months, so don't get all freaked out. But this is what the purpose of my phone call to the board of director guys. You guys are just bringing all this stuff. You're just confusing everybody. You're just making it more difficult for everybody. But anyways, we get an offer today. The buying agent emails you directly the offer, right? And all the attachments. This time next year, they won't be doing that anymore. They have an offer, they're going to upload it to SkySlope, and you're going to get a notice from SkySlope saying you have an offer. Follow me? And then if there's 2 offers or 3 offers or 4 offers, they're all going to show up on SkySlope, and then you're going to get them. And then you can choose when the Trust and Real Estate Act, I assume this time next year will be finished. You'll be able to disclose in multiple offer situations the contents of those offers if you choose. If you choose, right? And you can choose what's going to be disclosed. So don't get too, you can disclose nothing if you don't want to, if your client doesn't want to. You can disclose the price if you want to. You can disclose the down payment, you can disclose conditions, or a combination of all of the above, or down payment or closing date, right? You can disclose what you want, but whole premise here is that rather than us having emails directly, it's all going to be done in one platform, so everybody can see. So I think that's why they're telling it that sign, take a hike, let's go with this with SkySlope. I think it's a bigger picture. I think it's a bigger thing going. So I said it, now you can forget it until this time next year when I bring it back on.
Didn't you see a sign is doing now?
Talking about forms right now with registered offers. So the registered offers, this won't happen for another year, but as far as the authentic sign, it'll be gone at the end of this month. So what you have to do, and we've been doing this all weekend there between myself and everybody else, I've probably done maybe, I don't know, 10 or 15 offers already, just practicing. So it's not that hard, but if you've never done it, it'll seem like a mountain. So again, I didn't do one. I've done at least 15 right now. I try this and try that and do this and change this and cross that out, initial this and come up with all. I want to understand how it works. So as an agent, you have a choice. You can do what I did and just practice, or you can just get freaked out.
Do it in a live deal.
Or better still, here you go. You do it in a live deal and practice on your live client. Right. So what is the right way, right? So do it now. There's 2 or 3 people here, right? You just pick a partner here, do an offer back and forth, see how it feels, see how it looks. Role play with the computers, right? And it's not that hard. Like I found something right off the bat. Has anybody used it yet? Has anybody used SkySlope? Okay, so there's a couple of things on there just so you use it right off, and probably taught me this one. When you pick the signature, you draw this box, right? And the signature thing shows up. You don't have to draw the box. All you have to do is, you don't even have to drag it. All you have to do is click it and it shows up automatically. Click, 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 it shows up. Click, 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 it shows up. You don't have to draw the box. It's pretty slick, right? I found that on try number 10. Because what I was creating the box and creating the box, and then somebody told no, just hit. So I'm looking at Elio because he did one last week, right? So back to the matrix realm, you got if you decide to use one or the other, you got a choice 60 days. I think everybody should use realm if you want my opinion, only because realm is going to be hooked up with SkySlope and things like that. June 1st, the room dimensions are now mandatory. Somebody found an app that I don't want to share because I want a little more confirmation on that, but it's an app that somebody used. And they walked in a house. Might as well show it. You got that thing on your thing?
You asked for it.
And it measures the house.
The reason why, here's why I'm hesitant, because I don't know if it's accurate, and if somebody uses this app and they get in trouble and they tell the judge, I use the app, the judge is gonna laugh. So I don't recommend this. I'm not, if somebody wants it, I guess I'll get, I don't know the name of the app. There's apps out there, but this is one app that you see this house. The app created this,
It did the design too.
the app did all this. And how he did it, or she did it, whoever it was, they took their phone, just they took a video, and they walked in and they took a picture of the floor, all the rooms, all the rooms, and then they sent that video to this company, and the company created this. Is that true?
Yeah.
Just for photography, that's it.
Took a video, not, took a video of the house, walked around the house, the corner of the house, walked in all the corners and took a picture of the floor and the wall, or the floor and the wall.
For the corners.
Yes, did take a picture of the furniture and the walls, took a picture of the floor.
But if you did want to do furniture, you can pay an extra $10 and have the furniture.
Oh.
That's it.
Yeah.
Only $10?
$125. Would you pay $125?
No, I could-
Would you do it for $100? $50? I was trying to make money. It's cheap. It's like, I don't know, it's $25.
The first one is free and then $10 US after that.
$10 US per house.
I could look at it.
But I would rather you measure it. I'd rather do what Celine's saying. I would save the $10, do it yourself.
Now you get this too much for measuring.
Okay, open houses in Toronto.
Measure.
We talked about open houses in, how many open houses signs can you put in Ajax?
Zero.
Why?
0. One in front of the house.
Markham and Richmond Hill, you can pull 50.
In Toronto now,
60 now.
effective May 31st in the 416 area. You're only allowed to put open house signs up 2 hours before and 2 hours after the open house. You're only allowed to have maximum 6 open house signs.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
What about 905? Nothing.
That's enough.
905 has their own. Markham, Pickering, Ajax will have their own.
What if you have 2 agents call us today? Okay, well,
I suggest you use those bag open houses when they take them, so you've lost $2, whatever they cost them.
So 6
I
open
sold-
houses per, like.
Each open house, yeah, and 2 hours before, 2 hours after.
But just random for sale house.
Okay, so Tales from the Street on assignments. We have a client who bought a condominium in, I think Oakville or someplace. And the client was pretty good because the client negotiated free parking and free locker
From the builder?
from the builder, right? The builder, it was in the center, right? And the builder saying, no, free parking or else, because it was whatever. So now they wanted to assign it, right? Builder says, you can assign it, but they have to pay extra for the parking and the locker because that was your incentive, not theirs.
See, I get it was there.
The incentive was for that buyer.
Okay.
If that buyer's going to assign it to somebody else, that new buyer has to pay for that parking, has to pay for that locker,
Oh,
mandatory. So not, so yes. So my question to the buyer agent was, when they did the 10-day cooling off period, did they run this by the lawyer? Because it would have been in writing. And they said, no, they wanted to save the $300. Right? Because it's no surprise, it'd be right there, it's all there. So when you guys say, when you take your clients to these new pre-construction buildings, just hand them off, or you actually recommend that they have a lawyer look at the docs, right?
Oh, he might kill the deal. Why would you do that? Oh, my commission.
I'm just curious, you tell me the street, how many buyers pre-construction take that pre-construction contract to a lawyer and have them check it out? Clients do? No? Yes? No? Yes? 50-50? I don't know.
Assume that they're just builders and they trust them.
In this particular case, for the owner to assign this to the next buyer and to include the parking, actually, he's got no choice. The parking and the lockers included. It's mandatory. So it's $67,000 for the parking and $15,000 for the locker. So what's that? $82,000 it costs.
it costs them
Buyer.
buyers.
It's not gonna cost the buyer, it's gonna cost the seller that's selling it.
It's fine.
Losing. Before you leave. my friend.
I come across in your request, lawyer who can review APS and setup certificate in a 2 hours window, $49 plus tax.
Wow. Is that Mark Weisletter or no?
So I think it's a bunch of lawyers together. They are using it online platform. Just load your APS and then they review it. They say the 2 hours window or 3 hours window.
That's nice. Okay. So, all right. So if you've got something, just Google, lawyer pre-approvals, right?
It's like 4 or 5 lawyers in that region.
Successful lawyers.
I just, okay, no, just,
Pay for, right?
yeah, I want to talk about this for a little bit too now. On your data sheets. I mentioned this last week. I just want to talk about it again, though. Right? So we have a lawsuit going on, and I'll have to make it up here. So there's a lawsuit going on, and the seller said that the property is I don't know, 4,000 square feet. And then the buyer walks in and says it's 20, it's 3,500 square foot. He's going to sue for the difference. Our only defense, all right? The seller told us, what the seller tell us? Seller told us what our only defense is on the data sheet. We have 4,000 square feet and we got the seller's signature on the data sheet. My question to you guys is, do you guys fill in the data sheet and have your clients initial it, or do you have it initial it and you fill out the data sheet on your own?
Yeah.
And if you're the second, if you're the second group, you can't do that. And if you did do it, then you might be buying somebody's something or other. So you're actually protecting yourself by having that client fill it. Most people don't even get an initial, I'm guessing. Most people get the first page signed, they fight about the commission and whatnot and the price, and then the data sheet, they take it and fill it out on their own after. Or they'll take rough notes, they'll measure the house, they'll take rough notes and fill in the data sheet after. Nothing else, if you can do that, that's fine, but nothing else, put in like HVAC's included or nothing's rented or something just to protect yourself. All right.
You're not sure if it's square foot, don't put it in.
That's right. Don't guess square foot.
Using the guys for putting in square.
And we're still waiting for square footage to come from Treb. Treb said they're going to give us some type of tool to be able to get the square footage. So we're still waiting for that.
As per seller.
Well, it's not on Geo Warehouse, you paid for it.
No, but mandatory square footage in July. It's
So that's
meant.
no longer on Geo Warehouse. How you gonna get there?
No.
I'm sorry,
It was
is
on- it was
that
up-
mandatory gonna be the range still again?
It has to be range. Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah. Not gonna be.
Has to be. Used to be MPAC. If you did comparable products, you get the approximate range of square footage, but Geo Warehouse does not do that. You can pay the $5 and get the square footage. I'm hopeful that that Treb will come up with something that you don't have to pay for the square footage.
So we're gonna get rid of it and then they make it mandatory.
I don't think they even knew. I think the people making decisions are not ground level and they don't know that was a hack, because that was a hack when we got square footage, right? Nobody told us about it. We knew about it because we just didn't.
Ivory Tower.
That was from Geo.
From Impact, the public records they call it.
Do we call the
$5.
FX a track to get us reputation?
Right now, you gotta go to your warehouse and pay the $5.
Oh, okay.
Like, I think it's on property. Well,
We get it right away.
Can you, is private line
you
still
put it
on?
from
It's only
June,
close.
It's the same thing, I mean.
Send it to,
Anything else? Everybody's okay with the ad edit?
I do have a fantastic. I do have a coming soon, 3 bedroom, condo, town hall coming up at Lawrence and the Masco. You do have the buyer, Mr. Lawrence and what? Lawrence and Masco, nice, yeah, it's a street bedroom, and unit, by the way, so,
What's the street name?
275 Masco.
It is on Mass itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I know that building.
It's going to be
Is it
a
townhouse?
very
Townhouse. Anybody else have any,
This is 750.
750 for a 3-bedroom town?
Yeah. 750? 750. What, selling? I was thinking lease. She said lease.
No, for sale.
It's a
For sale. Anybody else? Anybody have any listings you want to talk about? Yes.
Sandy Benai just listed 19 Coverdale. It's a 4-bedroom, 2,300, over 2,300 square feet, 2 basement apartments, operated school, Kennedy Public School. 1.53, no offer date.
Where is that?
Kennedy and McNichol.
Two legal,
2 in-law suites.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. I was just gonna, after we were finished here, I was gonna remind them. 2 in-law suites.
On the market.
Anybody else?
Yeah, it's on the line. Just came out. Huh?
What's the speed?
Coverdale.
For now?
I have 2 listings, one in, Morningside and GC, that's a condo townhouse. A year and a half pool, super 75. Maintenance fee is 350. Pretty good, decent, rental property. Previously, my clients were renting it for $3,000 per month. A 3-bedroom, 3-full washroom. And I have another listing in Oshawa, 1081 Langford Street, which is in Eastville, like 2,900 square feet, Revit lot, 58 feet lot. Listed for 1.2. I mean, right now listed for 1.150. But you know, gonna go back to the 1.3 module price. Langford. No. What's wrong? This is for my 1.3, 2,900 square feet. I would be tempted. I would buy myself.
Somebody else have something there? No? Anybody at home?
Got a, offer dates on Thursday, Jane at 407 Brilio. It's registered, so it's a resale. 1 plus 10. 449 golden offers Thursday. I have come to the market 99 Donway, 1 bedroom for lease. And then I have a, I think it's 2250. Or 2350.
So Steve's got a condo for sale. This is a brand new condo.
The one in Will, yeah, it's brand new. And then I have another condo, 2-bedroom at 4725 Shepherd. Sorry? Lease? No, for sale. No, for sale. Hey, don't talk to him.
So Nelson, what's the strategy now for pricing? Do we price it at market value? Way well below market value? Above market value?
I'm fixing it.
Below market value? Like way below market value?
Sort of look at what the last 5-6 people have done and sort of gauge your percentage on that.
Okay.
You know, that's what we've been doing and that's what's been
So
working.
see what other people have done to make it sell. So look at other souls and see what their strategy was.
Go too low, but although not.
I'm definitely feeling a bit of a summer market here, so you got to make sure that your price right. Are you seeing that too? Yeah, summer market, so I'll definitely see that. So if you're gonna price something, go. Have a new agent here today. Congratulations. Right. Probably got a bunch of. Probably got a bunch of agents online too. Anything else? Okay, folks. All right. So, Brian, you got anything you want to add? No.
I'll let you know Wednesday what happens.
Wednesday. Yeah.
I think you guys will let me.
So let's have a pool. How many people think it's going to go up? How many people think it's not? I say it's not going to go up.
I don't
think so.
I was thinking it was until they.
Hmm?
I thought.
No. I have to be firm.
Don't think so.
Okay, folks. You go. Thanks.
Then July they happen.
Hey. We'll talk about